Russia angered Elon Musk with threats to destroy Starlink. Do they want to build rockets to shoot down numerous Starlink satellites? Elon Musk laughs at this. The inventor has been working with the Pentagon for a long time on military satellites for the United States, and they will now be used against Russia. And to find out more about this, watch our video to the end, and do not forget to subscribe to our channel, so that you do not miss interesting news in the future. The details of all the transactions between Elon Musk and the military, of course, are not disclosed, but we can assume that these are quite significant projects. It's no secret that the richest man in the world is a strategic weapon of the United States. The situation in Ukraine has already shown us that SpaceX satellites are actively used for military purposes. Elon Musk sided with Ukraine from the first days of the beginning of a major geopolitical conflict with Russia, which made the entrepreneur an enemy of the latter. Russians consider Elon Musk and his companions a danger to their country. How are Starlink satellites used by the Ukrainian side against its opponent on the battlefield? Starlink's internet satellites are rapidly becoming military satellites against Russia. Recall that in February Starlink satellite internet was turned on in Ukraine. Immediately after the appeal to the mask of the Ukrainian side, all residents of Ukraine will be able to use satellite internet from Starlink. The permit will be valid only during wartime, according to CEO Elon Musk. Russia is still focused on trying to disrupt the operation of the SpaceX Starlink satellite internet service. Starlink has so far resisted Russian cyber warfare and hacking attempts, but they are ramping up their efforts, he said in a tweet. Musk posted the tweet on the same day that the U.S. and its Western allies officially blamed the Russian government for the February hack that disrupted satellite internet access from rival provider Viasat. According to Musk, Russia is also trying to attack Starlink, which currently serves about 150,000 users in Ukraine. The use of Starlink satellites in Ukraine has ruffled some feathers in Russia, putting a red dot on SpaceX as a potential target for retaliation. For example, Dmitry Rogers, Director General of the Russian Space Agency, Roscosmos, expressed dissatisfaction with the fact that the Ukrainian forces use Elon Musk satellites for communication, and for this you will be held accountable as an adult, no matter how much you fool around. Rock is an allegedly addressed Musk in a Telegram rant retweeted by the SpaceX founder himself. I don't think that in fact there is anything that makes the Starlink terminal more secure than others except for their shortage at the moment. SpaceX also has a defense contract with the U.S. Army for the construction of 4 satellites, and this makes the Russian military very worried the satellites will warn of missile attacks. So this may deprive Russian military missile shells of an advantage. A contract of this kind for the private space company SpaceX is the first and probably far from the only one. For this contract, the company received an amount of $149 million. The idea is to use satellites with a wide field of view to ensure continuous coverage of the whole world. The U.S. Army has already collaborated with Elon Musk using his satellites to adjust the navigation of military troops on the ground and in the air. Now Russia is trying to hack into Musk's military satellites. The Russian authorities do not hide that Elon Musk and his military satellites are a threat to Russia. They can be made a missile control system and ground forces at any time, according to the Kremlin. According to the Saint Dmitry Rogosin, such devices will be placed in increasing numbers, and at any moment they can be turned from communication means into a control system for cruise missiles, special forces, and an agent network. Russian defense enterprises plan to increase the production of military equipment for the needs of electronic warfare by 20 to 30% in the near future. At the same time, thanks to the participation of serial factories in the manufacture of prototypes, the time required for mastering large-scale production of new products will be significantly reduced. All this is so that Russia could have something to oppose Elon Musk. For more than a decade, Russia has been creating a space defense system capable of intercepting the most complex targets, spacecraft as well as ballistic missiles. When asked what would happen if Russia did start shooting down satellites, Elon added, this means that they will have to use a lot of anti-satellite missiles. I think we can launch satellites faster than they can launch anti-satellite missiles, said the entrepreneur. Elon Musk believes that Russia will not be able to disable more than 2,000 Starlink satellites. When asked if there would be a potential threat if Starlink satellites were targeted at Russia and China, Musk said it was interesting to look at the Russian anti-satellite demonstration a few months ago. In the context of this conflict, the U.S. Space Command announced that on April 15, the Russian military launched an anti-satellite rocket from the Polissets Cosmodrome. Such tests pose a potential threat to all space powers because if they are successful, that is, the target in orbit will be hit, hundreds of debris will appear in near-Earth space that can damage or disable the satellite of any country. This is exactly what happened when China and India tested anti-satellite missiles, but the U.S. military said that after the Russian launch, no new debris or objects appeared in orbit. Be that as it may, Russia's creation of an improved missile defense system fits perfectly into the international trend set back in the early 2000s by the United States. The latter then engaged in the creation of a layered missile defense system with positional areas in Europe known as Europro. The American project also provides for the creation of ground-based by-launch vehicles with combat units for transatmospheric interception of ballistic missile warheads. It is assumed that these missiles will be able to intercept enemy satellites. Based on this, it can be argued that if one of the parties gets an advantage in deploying weapons in space, it will definitely take advantage of it. At the moment, there are three powers capable of creating and deploying weapons in outer space: the United States, Russia, and China. The U.S. space industry has recently received rapid development. This was achieved through the involvement of private companies whose ambitions and approach to work made it possible to create launch vehicles in a short time that significantly moved the Russian Federation in the space transportation market. First of all, this applies to the repeatedly discussed and criticized SpaceX company. The initial message, "Nothing will work for them." Numerous analytical articles about what SpaceX is doing wrong and what SpaceX stole from the Soviet Russian cosmonautics were replaced by questions to Roscosmos: why don't we have this? In fact, SpaceX took most of the space transportation market from Russia, and perhaps in the near future he will slaughter the last cash cow of Roscosmos, the delivery of Americans to the ISS. SpaceX also already has the world's most payload-carrying launch vehicle, Falcon Heavy, with a payload capacity of 63.8 tons to a low reference orbit LEO. But the most ambitious and interesting development of SpaceX is the Super Heavy reusable rocket BFR with the spacecraft Starship. It should be a fully reusable two-stage system with methane engines, with the ability to output 100 to 150 tons of payload to the ILEO. The founder of SpaceX, Elon Musk, expects that the cost of putting the load into orbit at BFR Starship will be comparable to that of SpaceX's main workhorse, the Falcon 9 rocket. Now there are rumors that new military satellites are being built in SpaceX. The resulting advantage may spur the U.S. Department of Defense to actively militarize outer space. The space industry has been developing rapidly in recent years. SpaceX is getting very tired in this field, and its big competitor from Russia, Roscosmos, is losing ground. U.S. sanctions have hit Russia's space industry hard. It is likely that Elon Musk's SpaceX will simply destroy them and take all the projects for itself. First of all, this concerns the missile defense system, placing in orbit not only satellites capable of tracking the launch of strategic missiles and issuing target designation to ground-based interceptor missiles, but also combat platforms with missile or laser weapons, can significantly enhance the capabilities of the missile defense system by affecting both the combat units and the missile itself in the initial phase of flight, until the moment of warhead separation. For those who doubt the capabilities of laser weapons, we can recall the YL-1 project, designed to defeat ballistic missiles in the initial phase of flight using a laser with a power of about 1 megawatt placed on a Boeing 747-400F aircraft. As a result of the tests, the fundamental possibility of such an interception was confirmed. The defeat of the target was envisaged at a distance of up to 400 kilometers. The closure of the program is most likely due to the inefficient type of laser used on chemical reagents. Modern technologies make it possible to create laser weapons with a power of up to a megawatt based on fiber optic or solid-state lasers. I wonder what the confrontation between Elon Musk and Russia in space can lead to. We will follow the developments. What do you think about this? Leave your opinion in the comments. Subscribe to our channel to learn more. Leave comments and share this video with your friends, as well as watch our other videos.